be clear, I haven't been asked to do a song with
Mhm.
a secular artist,
Mhm.
but just keeping it a buck, they probably not gonna ask me to get on there. Because
Yeah.
if you talking crazy on the song, why would you say, let me get this dope Christian artist to hop on this joint while I'm talking about spraying the hood up like that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Damn, Q. Baby, you did that.
What up, what up, what up, man? It's your boy Shad. Shad versus Everybody podcast. Voice of Detroit. Motherfucking podcast MVP in this motherfucker, man.
The champ is here! The champ is here!
What's up? What's up? What's up? This your boy Shad. Shad versus Everybody podcast, episode 236. And as you can see, we not in the studio today. We doing it on remote. Ain't did this in a while, but it's always good. I only do it though if I'm interviewing somebody out of the state of Michigan. So besides that, you gotta come to the studio. But today we got a special guest, man. We got a rapper. We got another podcast host. We got father. We got husband. Do you go by Antoine Stewart or AS?
Antoine Stewart at work.
Antoine Stewart. Okay, man. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How about yourself, bro?
I'm good. I'm good. This young man's from the DC area.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Man, my auntie before she passed away, God rest her soul, she stayed in DC and she had another house out in Maryland. I mean Delaware. And man, it was nice.
Okay.
It was the only spot that I went to that I felt like it was similar to Detroit.
Okay.
Just a little bit. So I felt at home a little bit.
Yeah, man. We got much love for the D, man. Much love.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Before we start every episode, we start off with a salute me while I'm here. A lot of times we wait for people to pass away before we can give them their flowers. You know, we made that long Facebook status about how we love him and her when we could have told them, in their face while they were still in the presence. So, you got anybody that you want to show some love to and give their flowers?
Oh yeah, all the time, man. My family, my wife, my three. I got 2 beautiful kids, one on the way.
Oh, congrats.
Thank you. My mom, my father,
Mm.
the father-in-laws, mother-in-laws, basically my village,
Yeah,
my surrounding, man, because anybody with children know it takes a village.
definitely.
It's good to have that good supporting cast for all the aunties, uncles, and everybody that has anything to do with me, my family. Shout out to my church, Real Church. Shout out to the Stones House, the people I do ministry with. Shout out to all of those people who play a pivotal role in my day in and day out everyday life. So shout out to those people, man.
No, for sure. And what you said was very true, man. As far as it take a village, because back when I was growing up, my pops passed away when I was young. So it take uncles, it take brothers, it take aunties, it take people in the neighborhood to really get you where you need to be.
Facts. And
Oh yeah, you
I
little
say
pause real
I'm
quick.
blessed.
Oh, there you go.
I was gonna say I'm blessed and fortunate to have those people in my life. So because I know a lot of people don't have that. So I'm definitely
No,
blessed and honored for that.
all right now. And speaking of, you said you got 2 kids, one on the way. Talk about fatherhood, man, and how did that change you? Like before fatherhood, and then you had your kids. Of course, you was married. How did fatherhood change you?
Oh man. And when I had my first daughter, I wasn't married. You know what I mean? So she's 10 now. I've been married for 6 years. So um it's been big. It's huge. It definitely a lot of responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, a lot of people you got to put before you, just
Definitely.
doing things not just for yourself, doing things for the well-being of your family, for your children and your
Mm-hmm.
wife and everything. So putting that in perspective, reliving the moments when you was that age and knowing, what they're going through and trying to, circumvent certain things. But hey, I could say this, that my children are definitely blessed, and we live in a good neighborhood now. They in a good school zone, good school district. So a lot
Yeah.
of the things that I had to go through growing up, she don't have to go through that. So
Exactly.
you know
Exactly.
what I mean? So that's definitely it's definitely been a blessing. And it's one thing that, and I tell this to a lot of people when it comes to being a father, like, because I have a lot of new fathers that I may work with or talk to, and
Mm.
they just trying to get ready. And I'm like, look, you never can be too prepared. You're never going to be really ready.
No,
It's just one
never.
thing that, yeah, you just going to have to go along with the flow as it goes and learn and find out what works for you. Because what worked for me may not work for somebody else. So you
Definitely.
just gotta figure it out as you go and not put too much pressure on yourself and just do the best you can do.
Yeah. Now, what with that first kid? I don't know how old you were when you had your first kid, but like, what was your thought process? Because with me, I had my first son. I got three kids, two boys and a baby girl. When I had my first son, I was just had turned 20, and it was like when he came out, I'm like, oh man, like it's no turning back. Like everything is
Yeah.
real. You're not, like you said, you're not just thinking for yourself. You got another person that you got to take care of for the rest of your life. What was your feeling like when you first had your first kid?
Man, it was just I think I was 25.
Hmm.
I believe I was 25 when I had my first kid, and it was just like surreal. Just I need to figure this out. I need to, I blessed and fortunate at the time. I had a decent job at the time.
Hmm.
With just figuring out the big picture.
Yeah.
You know, getting married. Trying to get a house and different
Mhm.
things at the time that were goals of mine that through the grace of God I have accomplished.
Yeah.
And that was basically it. Just figuring it out.
Mhm.
I didn't have it all figured out, just like most of us. I was just going along and growing, actually,
Mhm.
with my child and growing, at the time, and just trying to be the best father I could be possible.
Definitely, definitely. And then when you had that second, that third kid, it's like it's cakewalk then.
Yeah,
Like they
yeah.
get a
We
lot.
we waited a long time too, like, cause my second child, she's 1,
Okay.
and so it's like almost a 10-year or 9-year gap,
Oh no,
and
trust me.
then
I know that
yeah,
my oldest son be 19, and my other son is 9. So yeah, 10-year
yeah,
gap.
yeah. You hip, man. So and I got one on the way that's due probably October next month. So,
Yeah,
after that, we plan to be done, but we'll see what God has in plan.
for
Has
sure.
in store for us.
Yeah, yeah, man, yeah, yeah. Cause I got two boys and a girl, and after that girl, I'm like, all right, that's all she wrote. I'm good. I'm done.
I finally got my boy. The first two were girls, and the one that's coming is my first son. So
Okay.
I'm glad. I'm happy, man. I'm happy.
Now, let me ask you this, man. You being a girl dad, your daughter 10 years old, are you crazy like me when you thinking about like the guys she have to deal with, and you just like, are you worried, or you just know you did enough parenting that you're not even worried about what she, what I'm saying, endure in the future?
To be honest, it's one of those things where, I try not to go too crazy because that's a you know what I'm saying? When you jump too far ahead,
Yeah,
she's 10, she's in her last year in elementary school, so she's
yeah,
in the 5th grade going to the 6th. So I'm not trying to go too far. I'm trying to
hmm,
meet her where she's at,
hmm,
but definitely she's in a way better environment, but things happen everywhere. So just
exactly.
trying to, like the Bible said, bring a kid up in the way they should go. So when they get, older, they won't depart. Just trying to install in her all the wisdom and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So when she's on her own or in those moments where she has to make decisions for herself,
Yeah,
she'll be in a position to remember what mommy, daddy, or grandparents said to her, so she can make a better choice. Because
definitely.
peer pressure is going to be out there.
Hmm.
They're gonna be kids that doing whatever in their household. So we do have her kind of on lockdown. She don't really spend the night over nobody's house and nothing like that. And we kind
Yeah,
of, monitor as best we can because these little girls are getting snatched up left and right,
no,
man, from all ages. So we kind of keep her in our little nest, you know what I mean?
yeah,
She mainly around family, but yeah,
yeah,
that's and keep and stay prayed up. Stay prayed
yeah,
up, to be
for
honest with you.
sure.
That's the number one thing for me is my relationship with God and staying prayed up, and it gives me that peace.
Hmm.
But I still, do the best I can to try to guide her and try to avoid some hurdles.
Hmm.
She may not understand it now, or why can't I go ride my bike up the street and y'all stay where y'all at? Like, nah, we ain't doing that. Like, when else
For
gonna be
sure.
out there,
For sure. And it's funny, man,
because
that you say that,
yeah,
because it's like I think about that with my kids. My kids never really spend night over people's house because you just never know. But it's like
yeah,
when we was growing up, that was the thing to do. Like, you and this is without phones, so your mom just hoping that everything is okay. You know what I'm saying? But now,
fact,
like I said, we got all these different electronics to be able to see where they are, but we still not playing that, that whole game because you like you said, people nowadays is crazy. You can't ride up the street, you can't walk up the street. You can't go over nobody's house because there's always something going on. You just gotta be cautious and you gotta, saying, make sure, you putting them in the right situations.
Facts. That's big. That's big. And what we try to do is just try to be there, be present.
Yeah.
Give her a little, if you take them somewhere and let them play, but I'm there, but I'm gonna let you go off and do your thing, but I'm in the
Yeah,
cut.
but
You
I'm
know what I
watching
mean?
though.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Now, one thing I want to talk about before we get to music, because I don't like to deep dive into music. I feel like to gain a fan base, people need to know who the person is away from the music.
Yeah.
You spoke on being married. I've been married since 2020. Growing up, I never really seen too many people get married. I've been to more funerals than I've been to weddings.
Yeah.
My friends, none of my friends are already married. So, once I had got older and I was with the person I was with, I felt like this is the right thing to do. This is a good woman. It was only right that we got married. You know what I'm saying? This is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. What was that point for you when you felt like your wife was the one and, you just had to, make sure you do right and, get married and, do the right thing?
Oh yeah, man. So I was engaged before,
Mm,
man, and that's a whole nother podcast story on its own. That's a
yeah.
that's a whole nother testimony. Man to call Tyler Perry and get a movie deal off that one. But getting out of that situation, and then a family member had introduced me to my wife,
Hmm.
and because they were friends or whatnot, and because we've been together for like close coming up on 13 years.
Okay.
um so we met, and it was like fireworks, man. The first date was just it was kind of like I knew her before.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird, like the first time we met, because I had got her number. We were talking on the phone.
Mm,
And then when we finally went out on our first date, when I saw her for the first time, it was like, I know you from somewhere. I just
exactly.
couldn't put my finger on it. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And the rest was history, man. We didn't do it all the way right, but God gave us grace on
Mm,
that, and going had our share of ups and downs and stuff like that. And
mm,
you know, because we had our daughter, our first child was born in 2015,
okay.
and then we got married in 2019 August, and our daughter ended up being the flower girl to the wedding. So
Yeah.
that ended up being dope. We had a destination wedding, but I would say, man, to be honest, I know it sounds kind of cliche, but that
Mm,
that first date, it was kind of like it just felt different. It just felt
okay.
like, because I was praying for her and
Yeah.
she was praying for me, meaning like I was praying for a wife at the
Mm,
time and she was praying for a husband.
okay.
And God, he delivered on that. And
Yeah.
all I can do is thank him for that.
For sure.
Because a lot of times with people, when we try to make our own selections, we don't do a good job at choosing. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Definitely. I
Just
know.
keeping it a buck, because
No.
you thinking about all the wrong reasons why. But when God aligns something, it just hit different. And I
Definitely.
believe, I truly believe that was a God ordained thing that happened between
For,
us.
for sure. Last question I want to ask on that one is what changes did you have to make or you felt you needed to make in order to be a good husband? Was there anything that you thought you might have been doing right but you was doing wrong and you had to fix along the way?
I mean, it's a lot of things. I would say it's definitely growing, but I think I was mentally ready at that time, because, like I said, I was praying for that. I really wanted that. It wasn't just like it just happened.
Yeah.
Like I really wanted to be a husband, and
Mm,
she wanted to be a wife
mm,
right before we met.
yeah.
Like I said, I was engaged before, so
Mm,
I was already mentally prepared for that, of much as I can be, right? Because
yeah.
but so it was just one of those things where, like with anything, because at the time I was a lukewarm Christian.
Mm.
We definitely get in that a little later,
Oh,
but
definitely. Definitely.
I wasn't all the way sold out for Christ. So I
Mm,
still had some things I need to, work out and stuff like that. And it's just learning. But
yeah.
for the most part, is if you keep this doing to others as you want done to you,
Mm,
if you're a decent individual and you don't want somebody else doing something else to you, or doing whatever, you
yeah.
pretty much can govern yourself accordingly at that mark. But that's
Exactly.
one of the big things that I go by.
Exactly. It's funny you said it because I was just on the a young lady podcast not a couple days ago, and she was saying like, "Oh yeah, all men cheat and this, that, and third. I'm like, that's not true.
Yeah,
Cause I don't cheat. I'm one of
right.
them. But I was like saying like what you had said. I always put my think about the shoes on the other foot. If she was doing this, how would I feel? So why would I do something that I'll be hurt by? You know what I'm saying? So, and
Exactly.
that's why I told her
Yeah,
like I'm like this. You still got people who do what they do, but I think now people are starting to learn and just become different from what we seen growing up. With older guys or our fathers or whoever who was messing up. I feel like this generation is getting better at just raising families and being dads and being husbands.
facts, facts. And I would say the big thing is for both, which I try to teach my daughter, or what I will install in her when she gets a little older is,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you know, making better selections, because a lot of times you'll always hear like why the good girls end up with the bad dudes and the
Yeah,
good guys end up with the bad girls. It's like because of the selections we pick. Like you ignore those red flags. You've seen things that you probably should have stepped away from that
yeah,
individual, but
yeah,
because they look good or because of other things, you kept
for
them
sure.
around. And the next thing
Yeah,
you know what happens. Kids come into the picture and stuff like that.
yeah,
Now you feel that pressure. Well, we got a baby, so either you going to be a long-term relationship or you going to think about marriage and stuff like that. So we just get off to the wrong start at the beginning by
yeah,
ignoring certain red flags and stuff like that. And you probably shouldn't even be messing with this individual,
for
but you
sure.
you keep them around, and then next thing you know, life begins to happen. So
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing, is
yeah.
not giving your time and energy to people that you already know you shouldn't even be
And
dealing with.
I'm laughing because a lot of times, like with dudes, we are blinded, like from what she presents as far as like a figure, and we just disregarding everything that she do wrong. but we,
Facts,
but we just
facts.
like, man, she look nice, but she a terrible person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then I say this too with the women, it'll be some women that they'll go through hell with the wrong dude, but they'll get a good dude and
Yeah.
they'll basically sabotage that or treat them like a chump. And I'm like, dang, you finally got a good one.
Oh,
And now
yes.
you know what I'm saying? Like it's people need counseling, man. The biggest thing is I've learned, especially in the black community, is people have trauma they need healing from.
Definitely.
And if you 35 and above, it was a big thing in the black community where people would not go to counseling, or we looked at it or put it in the box. Like, man, I ain't crazy. I don't need no Nah, we need that counseling. We need
No,
that healing of the traumas of our past and of our youth and childhood,
for
to
sure.
where people got daddy issues, people got mommy issues, and then you
Mhm.
bring that into the relationship, and
Yeah,
you don't heal from that, and it's just trauma on top of trauma, where
yeah,
people need to be healed first before they seriously start getting involved with other people.
yeah. Because the relationship is doomed before it even start. Because of all that back,
Facts.
you know what I'm saying, that baggage that you coming into a relationship with. So now
Yeah.
it can't even get right because you messed it up by just what I'm saying, just coming into a relationship like that, thinking like that.
Yeah. I've talking to people who was off that self-sabotage thing, like, oh, this person is too good for me, so I'm gonna mess it up. I'm like,
Yeah.
how does that even make sense?
At all. It don't make no sense at all, man.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
speaking of that, like, what are there some things that you still feel that you need to work on? As it could be your personal life, it could be with with Christ, it could be with your wife, music. Like, is there anything that you feel that you still need to work on to get
Yeah.
better in any of those different situations?
Everything.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep it a whole buck, man. Like, you always going to be working on something. You're never going to be fully arrived at
mm,
anything. It's always something to work on, whether that's in your marriage,
yeah,
whether that's in your craft, your art. When you get in that mindset that I don't need to work on something, that's when stuff starts to deteriorate. You know what I mean?
facts.
But as long as you keep it like, I always need to get better,
Mhm.
I'm never all the way there, because the truth is we're not. Like, even in our relationship with Jesus Christ, you're always working. You're always, it says, die to your flesh daily. It's a daily thing. It's a daily walk.
Mhm.
Like, today may have been a good day, tomorrow might be a bad day. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So it's a constant, consistent daily walk that we have to do in
mhm,
everything in life, whether it's in our marriages, in our families, in our careers, in
mhm.
our relationship with God. Everything is a daily situation. So I'm always constantly trying to do better than what I
Yeah,
did, yesterday, or I may have a bad day today and a good day tomorrow. It might be vice versa, but it's always a daily thing for me.
Oh yeah, and with you saying that, it's funny because I wrote this down when I was doing a little research. You had made a stats not too long ago saying God leaves scars in our lives sometimes to remind us that He healed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just talk about that and some pain that you went through that you could pinpoint that God healed you from.
Oh man. I can pick a lot of things, but the first thing that just came to my mind was just because of we don't staying on topic was like I said with my ex fiance, I
Mm,
went through a whole ordeal with her
mm,
to where, like I said, we can definitely dive deep on it on another conversation, but
yeah.
it was a lot of hurts and traumas there
Mm,
to where, I know when I first met my wife, she was saying that, thank you for not, she said, with the things that you've been through in your past,
mm,
especially dealing with your ex,
mm.
you could have put that on me. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Because when you're dealing with people, you got to go through all the baggage that they went through with somebody else.
for sure.
And she said, you didn't do that to me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And God was able to heal me in that area to where I didn't put past traumas on her. Like, you didn't do it. So why would I,
Mm,
you know what I'm saying? And I
yeah.
was able to forgive and move on, because forgiveness is a big thing. A lot
Yeah.
of people don't want to forgive, or they hold those trauma bonds and everything
Mm,
like that. So I would
yeah.
say getting through that ordeal, and being able to find love, and God gave it to me at the right time because I was mentally able.
Mm,
A lot of times in life, people want these blessings, they want this career, they want the bag, right? But a
yeah.
lot of times you're not ready to get the bag,
Mm,
and your surroundings, you're not ready to get the bag with the people that surround you, because they gonna mess it up. You know what I'm
definitely, yeah, for
saying?
sure.
Like, I wasn't meant to get certain money with certain individuals,
Yeah,
that it
definitely.
would have been my downfall. God gave it to me when I was with the right individuals.
Mhm,
And that just goes to show, like, all throughout the Bible, you know, sometimes God may give you a vision,
mm.
and it may be 10 to 15 years before it comes to pass,
Yeah, yeah,
but like, dang, man, he showed this to me. I don't know what's going on, God.
yeah,
Like, I showed it to you so you can start preparing. The preparation process starts now. So you
yeah,
can start
definitely.
getting yourself in order, so that when you get to that point to where he gives you that, you're not gonna fumble the bag. You're
Yeah,
not gonna
yeah.
mess your blessing up. You can actually sustain it. And and there are all things in the streets and everything else, like things that come fast money, it usually leaves just as fast as it comes. When you have to grind and work for something and actually put that time in, when you get there, you'll appreciate it more.
You took the words right out of my mouth. You definitely appreciate it a whole lot more, and you can go back and kind of laugh at the struggles, you know, what I'm saying, on the way, because those are your
Yeah,
chapters to get to where what I'm saying, your ending of the book. And like I
yeah,
said, I tell my son that all the time. A lot of times, we just had this conversation last week because he going to transition to college, and he took a little time off and gonna start in the winter. But prior to that, he was trying to, I felt like he was trying to take the easy way out. I'm like, there's no easy way, man. There's no shortcuts. You, like I said, you gotta go through hard times to be able to get to what you know what I'm saying, where you really want to go.
facts. You gotta be
Yeah.
built for it tough.
Yeah, and like I said, these kids now, they want it now, man, right now. They ain't got no patience. They ain't got no patience to watch a video for more than 3 minutes on the phone without going to the next thing.
Yeah, yeah, and it's beauty in the grind, man. The grind. I know when you going through that, because we living in a microwave society, like you said, everybody want it fast, but
Yeah,
the food always tastes better when you put it on that low and slow, and let it smoke for a little bit.
for sure.
You know what I'm saying. You put that
Yep.
brisket in there, it tastes a little better.
Man,
You,
yep,
when things go,
you leave, go to work, put that boy on low.
yeah,
No, for sure, for sure, for sure, man. Like I said, that's what I'm teaching my kids, man, about patience, about hard work, and don't nothing come easy, man. Like I said, don't nothing come
yeah.
easy. And when it do come easy, you gotta be a little worried about it coming so easy.
Facts. Cause I remember, like, things that was given to me, like, oh, my first car, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I didn't appreciate it and treat it the same as the first car I had to buy myself.
Yep, yep,
You
yep.
know what I mean? It was different. I'm like, oh, I have to pay for this,
Yeah,
Or
yeah, man.
when I went to community college, I was paying for the school out of my pocket. So it was
Mhm.
like, dang, this is a
Yeah,
little different than high school when you got to pay for these books, you got to pay
yep,
for these classes,
yep.
so it was a little bit different, definitely.
Man, for sure, for sure. That's funny. Now, talk about come so used to talking to people from the city of Detroit. talk about growing up. In DC. Who was in the household and how was it as a youngster?
Oh yeah, man. I grew up in Northeast, man, off of 12th and Constitution.
Mm,
And in my home, it was my mom, my grandma, and my aunt. You know,
okay.
that was with my house. My parents divorced when I was like 2, so I really, really didn't remember living,
Mm,
with them
yeah.
together like us three. So yeah, that my childhood memories growing up in DC was great. It was kind of like I had 3 moms. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Hold on, let me stop you real
Um,
quick. Hold on. Between grandma, aunt, and mom, who can get down the best in that kitchen, man?
oh, grandma all day. You know what it is.
No, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, cause my grandma, she had 6 kids, and
Okay.
she raised them a lot by herself, man.
Yeah,
So, she definitely was the matriarch in the family when it came to throwing down,
yeah,
and cooking. Like that was her thing. That was her domain. So
for sure.
yeah, grandma got down with it. So yeah, that was me growing up in the city, man. I think I went to private school at 4th grade.
Okay.
They put me in the private school in
Mm,
in the city in Southeast, and I jumped around a couple of different private schools. The biggest difference was, to be honest, was the how many kids was in the class.
yeah, compared to
You know
public
what I'm
school.
saying? But it was still in the hood, man. We still was acting up. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? It was just we was a private school.
you just got to wear different
Uh
clothes.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And then I had moved from DC to Maryland
Mhm.
my 9th grade year,
Yeah.
which if you're familiar with the DMV, the part of Maryland I moved to, they call it Southeast Maryland. So it's basically like an extension of DC, because
Okay.
a lot of people from DC, it's so close that you could be at Suitland Southeast and you
Mm,
could walk to Suitland, Maryland, like a
mm.
short walk. It's in DC, they have a lot of little places where you on this side of the street, you in DC, you walk across the street, you at the Maryland line. So
Okay.
and usually those are the areas where it's a little rough. So yeah, I
Yeah.
moved to Suitland my 9th grade year, which wasn't no different.
Mm,
Went to Suitland High School, and yeah, man, but life was good, man. Definitely, like I said, having that supporting cast
yeah.
of those women in my life, definitely helped propel me, and felt like kept me grounded,
Yeah.
and I was blessed, man. I can't complain.
For sure. Cause I know for a short stint, I was me and my mom when my mom and dad broke up, we went to go live with my great grandma and man, when they got that house coat on, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They can make some good food.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Now I don't know how involved you are or if you keep up with basketball, but I heard that Maryland area, y'all got some real hoopers out there, man.
Oh yeah.
You
Oh
got
yeah.
Kevin Durant, you got Quinn Cook, you got I think Nolan Smith. Like y'all got like a lot of hoopers out there, man. You know what I'm saying? Are you familiar with the hoopers out there?
Yeah. I like KD. Everybody know KD. I'm not too familiar with everybody, but
Yeah.
yeah, in this area, who basketball is a thing,
Hmm.
football is a thing. We had a
Okay.
lot of great football players. I actually went to high school with Navarro Bowman.
Okay. Yeah.
The-
He
you know,
played for San Francisco.
yeah, he played for San
Yeah.
Francisco. Then he went to Oakland. Now he's coaching at LA Chargers for Coach Harbaugh.
Okay.
He's linebackers coach down there. But I went to school with him.
Yeah.
We graduated the same year, and then it's a lot of great football players that came out of the DC, Maryland area.
Yeah.
Big Vernon Davis.
Oh yeah.
He went
Yeah.
to
Tight end.
Dunbar High School in DC. My mom went to the same high school as him.
Okay. Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
but yeah, man, it's a lot of great sports. The car game sports and stuff like that is huge in this area.
For sure.
Especially music too.
Yeah. Definitely. Before I talked about the music, I'm quite sure prior to finding Christ, you was doing like secular music and stuff like that. What
Yeah.
made you I don't want to use the wrong word, but what was the switch? Was it anything? Was it a moment? Was it a situation? Was it people around you guiding you? Like what was the switch?
So keep it a buck, man. Like I stopped doing music for like 15 years, man.
Okay,
Um,
wow.
so I started, even though I wasn't totally living for Christ. Now, looking back at it and reflecting on it, I know that the Holy Spirit was convicting me with the type of music I was making.
Yeah.
Um, so, and I got to the point where I've always been the type of person to do a lot of research and to do a lot of digging and stuff like that. And as I started doing more research and digging about the music industry or the entertainment industry, however you want to call it, and just seeing like something just fell off to me.
Yeah.
And then, over the years I've seen like different people talk about, how in the music industry and stuff like that.
Mm.
Knowing what I know now, it's like, bro, you're responsible for these souls, man. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like people don't like to don't want to come to grips with this, but being an influencer, it's a cost to that. Meaning, like, if I'm influencing people in a negative way,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to answer for that because you don't know how many people you can steered in the wrong direction. How many kids listen to your music and went ahead and did something wild, or they in prison, or they took somebody's life, or they whatever happened.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just off of your music.
Yeah.
And I used to defend it and be like, nah, man, people doing that. But like, nah, like look at what today is. You got influencers who've come to be famous just because of social media, being YouTube
Yeah.
and streaming,
Yeah.
and then like what's the dude named Speed?
Yeah. ISO speed. Yeah.
He was just in the area, he was just in DC,
Mm.
and he was hitting certain spots, and I was hearing like had to shut down certain areas because
Yep.
thousands and thousands of kids just pulling up on him.
Yeah, he was just here in Detroit. People, because I guess his dad from Detroit, and people was riding around just to meet him and stuff like that.
Yeah, that just shows you like this dude he's very talented, very athletic, but I mean, he's not a basketball star, not a football star, not a rapper.
Mm.
His claim to fame, because I watched a little bit of his story, and how he was into YouTube, and his mom wasn't feeling it, so he moved with his dad, who let him do his thing, and he became very successful at it. So it's one of those things where the cost of influence is at a price, man. And if you're using your influence for negative things
Mm.
the average person may not think it's negative, but if we honest, when we listen to rap, what we, drinking, getting
Yeah.
drunk, smoking, getting high, the women, what we doing with that, and the
Mhm.
drugs, and then killing everybody and their mama in the songs and everything like that. You
Yeah,
know
for
what I
sure.
mean? Like it definitely ain't a positive. It's like, would you want your 5-year-old, 6, 7, 8-year-old listening to this? If you honest, if you a decent human being, you would probably say, nah, she can't listen to this.
Yeah,
I'm just for adults. That's what they say, but we know the kids listening to it, they're gonna find a way.
for
Now
sure.
with streaming platforms, it ain't hard.
At
But
all.
that was mainly at that time I started getting convicted of the type of music I was making.
Hmm.
And I was just like, man, and I just don't want that blood on my hands, because
Yeah,
I felt like I was close to getting a major deal. I felt like I was close because we was in the scene, we was opening up for Freeway in
yeah,
DC. We here, we there.
yeah.
We had things clicking. I was like, it's only a matter of time for I, run into the right people that's gonna put me.
Exactly.
But God was like, nah, Slim, go ahead and have a seat.
Yeah,
So I just stopped doing music for like 15 years because at the time I was still a lukewarm Christian. I wasn't sold out for Christ. It's not like I was doing music, I got saved, and then I
yeah,
just
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
doing music no more.
Yeah. So
You
you
know what
just
I'm saying?
once you realize that you didn't want to do it anymore, and like I said, you changed things up. You just completely just went away from the game.
Cold turkey. Cold turkey.
Yeah.
I was like, I ain't messing with it. You know what I'm saying? And not until I got saved in 2020.
Okay.
Because before that, everybody grew up in a Christian home,
Mhm.
but and I know now you got to have a relationship with Christ for yourself.
Yeah.
Your grandmother's relationship with
Yeah.
Jesus,
It ain't your
it
relationship.
ain't your exactly. So,
Yeah.
even though I would pray and I would do these things, I didn't grow up in a church like that where we went to church every Sunday and nothing like that. But
Yeah.
I would read the Bible, I
Mhm.
pray and stuff like that, but I really didn't know Christ. I really didn't know him the way I do now.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is, and I talk to a lot of friends and everything like this, is surrendering.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing because it's going to cost you something to surrender,
Yeah.
because you no longer become a God in your life, because we all make ourselves gods in our lives, because that what I mean by that is we do what we want to do. When you want to
Okay.
drink, you drink. When you want to get drunk, you drunk. And you want to smoke, you smoke. When you want to, you know what I'm saying, you single, you doing what you doing. We all doing what we doing, right? And it's
Yeah.
different levels of it, but at the same time, sin is sin. Like this dude may be murdering people, but you
Mm.
out here sinning just as much. Y'all both die. Would you think y'all both going to the same place?
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly. Yeah,
mean?
hey, it's a separate hell from you.
Yeah, yeah. Now we can go deep in. He may have certain stuff that, you know what I'm saying, in scripture, certain punishment that you don't have, but hell is hell. You know,
Yeah,
nobody wants to be there. So
for
at the
sure.
end of the day, I wasn't living right, you know, and I got saved in 2020. And when I
Mm.
got saved, that's when I heard the Holy Spirit say that I didn't want you to stop doing music. I just wanted you to do it for
Change it.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it for him. So, but at the time, I thought Christian rap was corny. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, because the examples that I heard at that time, the production wasn't on point, the beats was
Yeah.
trash, the flows was garbage. So I was like, man, I ain't, you know what I mean? Like, this ain't for me, you
No, for
know.
sure, for sure.
But now jumping into it in 2020,
Yeah.
man,
It changed up. It
it
changed up.
came a long way, man. Like
Shout out
from
to my
yeah,
my boy Yasanasai. You should connect with him, man. He from here, from Detroit.
okay,
Good dude, good artist. Similar story how he switched things up. He was like on the battle rap scene and stuff like that, and
yeah.
changed his whole thing up. But he had said something. I wanted to get your answer on this. That by him doing music for Christ, I asked him could he collab with other artists that don't, and he said he couldn't. He couldn't at all. How do you feel about that? Like if a rapper who rap about what he rap about, but say, hey, I'm gonna get on the song with you. I'm not gonna be cussing. I'm not gonna be talking crazy. I just want to work with you. What's your answer to that?
My feeling is I jump on your song, you can't jump on mine.
Okay, why is
That's how
that?
I feel. Because that's just like saying, hey, today at church, we got Lil Wayne speaking from Proverbs. You like, what? Lil Wayne speaking in my church. I'm at the wrong church. And I'm like, I need to get out of here. But guess
Okay,
what? If Lil Wayne having a concert and he said, we got this man of God, he gonna say a prayer for y'all, you can go there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because I can go to the darkness. You know, I
yeah,
don't mind doing. I can go in the streets.
mm,
We minister in the streets. I can go
yeah,
there and preach the word, but I can't pull you off the streets and say, yeah, get on this pulpit and preach a word. Like, nah, that's doing a disservice.
okay, yeah, I feel
Because
that.
in the streets and in the rap community, you know, growing up when we grew up, we was big on not faking, being who you are. Like if you ain't a street dude, then don't be that. Be on that. You know what I'm saying? If you a backpack rapper, be that. Be who
Be
you
there.
are.
Yeah,
So don't. That's how I feel. Like if you are a street rapper and you say, yeah, let me jump on this gospel song, that's not even you. Why
yeah,
you trying to be something you not? Like when if you get there, hopefully you do, you can
mm,
do that. But until then, you know what I'm saying, you just do what you do.
yeah.
But if you saying that you want me to hop on yours, I will spread the message on your platform, of
N-
course.
Now, are you spreading the message on their platform? If they talking crazy, are you still let me listen to what you're saying to be able to know or decide if I want to jump on the song or not? Because they talking too crazy, I'm sure you ain't getting on the song.
Yeah, but and to be clear, I haven't been asked to do a song with
Mm-hmm.
a secular artist,
Mm-hmm.
but just keeping it a buck, they probably not gonna ask me to get on there. Because
Yeah,
if you talking crazy on the song, why would you say, let me get this dope Christian artist to hop on this joint while I'm talking about spraying the hood up like that? You know what I'm saying? Like when you
yeah,
thinking of features to this track, that's probably not the session that you trying to get into anyway.
definitely. Because
So
I oh my bad, sorry.
but you know, we have a lot of Christian artists like Project Pat. You know, he's a minister now. You know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
did. Yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
he and we all, you know, grew up listening to them and stuff like that. And now seeing what he's doing for the kingdom is it's a beautiful thing. So I
Yeah,
feel like what I'm doing for me, I
mm,
mean, for the Lord, as far as in my space, is
mm,
sacred and it's holy.
yeah,
So why would I get some unholy and mix it with that? You know what I
yeah,
mean? But
yeah,
if you want me to come in your space
mm,
and preach the gospel on the track or do whatever, then it's
mm,
probably a clean track anyway, or you wouldn't be wanting me on there in the first place.
for sure,
But
for sure.
I haven't had that opportunity yet. So I
Mm,
guess it's one of those things where depending on the situation,
yeah,
and the biggest thing is praying about it first and saying what God want me to do.
mm.
If he give me the green light to hop on it, I hop on it. And if not, then we keep it pushing.
You said something earlier, man. I wanted to make sure I didn't forget, but you had said like music influencers getting to these kids and spreading the wrong message. And
Yeah.
but let me ask you this: don't you feel like? Because I can talk for myself. I'm not gonna lie. My mom and dad playing music, watching movies that I know I shouldn't been listening to. I shouldn't have been watching.
Mhm.
But they was also parents to be able to let me know, hey, look, you listen to this music, you see this stuff, but this ain't what you do. You be an individual, you be yourself. You don't copy these, saying what these people are doing. Don't you feel like it's some parents' responsibility as well to make sure, saying, hey, listen, you see this, but this ain't you. This ain't what you do.
Absolutely, but the thing is, when you making those decisions, they not with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like just like we was talking about with our daughters and trying to bring them up in a way, they're gonna be in situations with their friends or whoever to
Mm-hmm.
where they gotta make a choice with peer pressures there.
Yeah.
You with your friends and then he bought some weed to school, like, here, hit this, and you like, man, you ain't trying to be no square, you gonna hit it, right? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Or you listening to that stuff anyway, and they talking about like it's so influential. Like if speed can make 10, 20, 15, 30,000 kids pull up on them and they got to shut them all down.
Mm-hmm.
What you think these famous rappers who gonna be like? You know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah.
they got that influence to where if they rapping about this stuff and your kids are constantly listening to it,
Mm-hmm.
whether you want to believe it or not, even in your self-conscious, it's influencing you.
Yeah.
Now it's
Yeah.
like, man, because think about it. If you was smoking back in the day, you want to put on a song that merged well with that session,
Definitely,
right?
yeah, because you ain't trying to listen to nothing
Oh,
no different, yeah.
let's put on something this, or let's put on that Luda, Blueberry Dro,
Wiz,
Blueberry Yum Yum, or whatever you listening to. You put something to go into that. If you getting drunk and you know what I'm saying, you putting on some stuff like that. That's why they play certain type of music in the clubs because they know what's going on, right?
true.
And it's one of those things where it's going to influence you, and then it's when you leave the nest. Now you got to make decisions. And what's your environment like? If you growing up in the hood, we know what that's like. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So it's there. It's there.
Yeah.
It's accessible. Anything wrong that you trying to get into is accessible to you.
Mm-hmm.
And if your friends are doing it, more than likely you probably gonna be doing it too,
For
to
sure.
some extent before something happens to probably steer you in the right direction, or that friend got shot or killed or whatever happened. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's there, man, and it's
Yeah.
definitely influential. And
Okay.
Ice Cube did a podcast. He was talking to somebody and he was speaking on, a lot of the people that own these record labels and stuff on the higher levels
Mm-hmm.
invested in private prisons. He said
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So we if we start connecting the dots, you be like, well, dang, when the Dougie Fresh and all them, and it was that fun hip hop, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
Yeah. Yeah.
then it took that switch to that gangster rap and that F the police and all that stuff. And you took that turn. If people are influencing the message and those same people are invested in private prisons, you
Mm-hmm.
got to fill those prisons, right? You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So you start seeing the influence in the culture, because if you go way, 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 way back, like the Black Wall Streets and stuff like
Yeah.
that, just because you grew up in a poor neighborhood doesn't mean it was crime ridden.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
saying? Where our grandparents and great grandparents grew up, it was a community. You know what I'm saying? And the neighbor could spank you. People
Yeah.
had accountability. People looked after one another, and then we
That's facts.
slowly got into that every man for himself, and no respect. Don't care if it's women and kids, because it used to be
Yeah.
young women and kids off
Bro.
limits,
Bro.
or if you
There's
ain't in the
no such
streets,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
You
Cause
a
then,
civilian, so you off limits or whatever, stay in your lane. But now ain't nobody off limits. They'll smoke your
no.
grandmother in front of you.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
it's just a different generation. You see how we getting further and further away from God.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. It's nothing off limits now. Like you said, even when I remember being a kid and my friends was cussing, hey, man, it's an adult right here, man. Chill out. You know what I'm saying? Ain't none of
Yeah,
that. And in neighborhoods, man, you don't even know your neighbor no more. You ain't even speaking to your neighbor. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's facts. Like my producers, which my uncle, I know they
yeah,
block, like my grandma block, everybody know everybody. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So, but like you said, I guess the older we get or the way the internet, stuff like that, like it makes people just get farther and farther away, even though we could be next door neighbors.
That's a fact. And then, most people, they ain't trying to get involved in nobody else's business anyway.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And I ain't gonna lie, I fell victim to that one specific time, man. I was in an apartment building, it's domestic issue, and she coming knocking on the door. And first thing I'm thinking about, if I want to help you, But if I help you, this now he coming on, attacking me. I got a family and stuff like that. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So yeah, man, it's crazy out here, man. Like, a lot of people need need a lot of help, man.
Yeah, yeah, that's and then it's like what you gonna do in that moment.
Yeah.
And you and the people could say what they gonna do until they in there. You know what I'm
Oh no,
saying? You be
no,
like, yeah, man, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And then they're like, dang, we seen you the video, you ain't do none of that stuff you was saying you was gonna do. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
definitely, definitely.
So it just how you built, how you wired.
Yeah, you said something else earlier too, as far as like you had motion prior, and you might maybe could have got a deal, whatever. Be for real, man. How hard was it to know that you got motion, something could pop off, but now you need to change up? How hard was it to what, I'm gonna leave this alone, even though I know I got something going with it.
Um, to be honest, man, I was getting convicted so much about it, and it was just like,
Hmm.
and then God was just leading me down a different path, thing away from that type of stuff. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
it was just like, man, it ain't even worth my soul. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So if you lead me away from this, then it is what it is, because I ain't trying to be on there, have all this money and fame and stuff like that, and just get lost in the sauce.
yeah,
And then you just find out that you was on the treadmill the whole time running after a carrot,
yeah,
and that this all was a mirage. Because what's the average lifespan? What, 80, you say 80 years for the average human life?
yeah,
And what's that to eternity? Isn't
yeah.
it not even a drop in the bucket? You know what I'm saying? So I was just getting convicted. I didn't really understand it fully at that time,
Hmm.
but I just know something in me was just like,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? I don't think this the path I want to
Yeah.
go down,
And that
so.
that being a path that you want to go down, you want to change things up. How are you with others? Because you know how like somebody decided to go vegan,
Yeah.
and now we were just eating steaks yesterday, and now you cussing me out because you changed your lifestyle. So now you're trying to convince me. I'm not trying to use bad wording, but like when you change your life over to Christ, are you trying to convince others, or are you letting them walk through their own path and they'll find their own way?
Yeah, I mean, definitely preach the gospel. At the end of the day, I can give you the gospel.
Hmm.
I can't make you do anything. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? The Holy Spirit's job is to convict you. I'm just a
Hmm.
messenger.
Yeah.
Just like the Holy Spirit convict me of certain things, he convicted me. And when that conviction is strong and it's on on your head, you just can't shake it.
Yeah.
But I'm delivered a message and what the Lord has given me, and now you got to make a choice.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and when you doing street ministry, or you in these neighborhoods and stuff, and which we do from time to time,
Hmm.
with the Stones House Ministry. They have a street ministry, and they'll be out there on the block, man. They be giving back to the community, having grocery bags set up. And we be out there rapping, and we be praying for folks. People be coming up, they be drunk, high, whatever. And where we at, that's a hot area, so it's drug sales happening in front of you and behind you. So you really there, you in the
Yeah.
trenches, and we
Hmm.
preaching the gospel. And the message is for anybody.
Okay.
Jesus died for everybody, so I can't force anybody to do anything. I can just give you the message, and if the Lord's pulling on your heart and you come, you know what I'm saying, we pray for you or whatever at that point. But that's my job, is just to continue to spread the message.
For sure, yeah, yeah. But you know what I'm saying, like how like somebody a change tomorrow, and then expect you to come with them instead of like, hey, give me a little time. Yeah,
Oh
I see where you're
yeah,
going. Cause
yeah,
my brother, one of those ones, he's like, hey man, I stopped eating red meat yesterday, man. Don't ever eat nothing.
yeah.
It's like, man, you just did this yesterday, man. Like,
Facts. And then
you know
with,
what
with
I'm
people like that, I would say this: you got certain convictions, right?
saying?
To where, let's say, like, God been putting on your heart to stay away from red meat, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
That don't mean I'm supposed to stay away from red meat. That's
Yeah,
you. That's your. A lot of times people put their convictions on other people,
yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
or like, if you struggling with, what's a sin you don't hear too much of? The word gluttony, right?
Okay.
You don't hear too much. You don't hear too many people talking about gluttony.
Hmm.
So if you a dude that you struggle with gluttony, and you like, man, hey man, we can't go to the buffet no more, man, because it's gluttony. You're like, bro, you don't know when to stop, bro. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
You don't know when to push the plate back. Nobody told you to get 5 plates. I got
For
2
sure.
and I was cool.
Yeah, I was
You know what
good.
I'm saying? So it's one of those things where you have those personal convictions,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have what the word of God says, to where it's just all across the board. This is what it is. And then
Mm-hmm.
you have personal convictions. Like the Bible says, if a man wants to eat only plants, then let him eat plants. He
Yeah,
said, but if a man has faith enough to eat meats, let him eat the meat.
for
You know what
sure.
I'm saying? Like he said, all things are clean now. That's what
Yeah,
because back before Christ, they used to have those strict dietary laws as far as the Hebrew Israelites and the Jews, to where they couldn't eat certain things because it was considered an unclean animal.
yeah.
And then Jesus was like, all things are clean, right?
Mm.
So he had to show, it had to break them out of those traditions and those that, oh dang, I can eat this, instead
Yeah,
of looking at somebody else. But if somebody want to do that, let them do that.
yeah. Let him go.
But
Yeah,
don't put that on me. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like if you
That's
want to eat, I eat red meat, I eat pork, I love ribs, I like
yeah,
cooking on the grill, all that. So,
yeah,
but you can't. I do have a homeboy that is a pescatarian, where
yeah,
we be always messing with him. He's a brother in the faith too. My boy, shout out to Aaron.
yeah.
Um, we always be messing with him because I be like, bro, you want a piece of this chicken, bro. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And he be laughing. He be like, man, you right. But we know that, but that's a decision he decided to make
Exactly,
for
exactly.
him
Yeah,
and his personal situation. So
yeah,
I don't knock him for it. I mean, we you know how we pick and tease each other, poke at each other. That's
yeah,
just how we grew up, and
yeah.
have fun with your boys like that. But he respects my decision, and I respect his, and that. So it's all love at the
Yeah,
end of
cause
the
my
day.
brother, man, shout out to my brother. I love him to death, man. But he that type of person, like, what you gave your son some McDonald's, man? You crazy? Like,
Right,
it's like,
right,
man,
right.
you were just eating that yesterday, man. It's all good though, man. But
Facts.
on, did you lose friends when you changed your life over?
I would
Did you have to go
say
through that?
I would say gradually, like situations change, not just because, oh, you went to the Lord, I ain't rocking with you. I never really had that situation where somebody came out and told me that they ain't rocking with me because I'm into the Lord. But
Yeah,
at the end of the day, you're not hanging out in certain places no more.
yeah,
You're not going to certain environments no more,
yeah.
or certain areas, to where friends that you might have that's doing that. They if my thing is this, if you respect me as a man, and what I'm saying, if like, oh, he don't rock with that, I'm not gonna
Mhm.
put you in them situations.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but you do have, I've talked to people who have been through this, and they said they had to tell their friends, like, stop playing with me, because
Yeah,
y'all purposely trying to put me in bad environments. You know what I don't do that stuff no more. So
yeah,
I've been blessed and fortunate. I would say, because when I came to Christ officially in 2020, I'm not no 19, 20 year old. So most of my friends is grown anyway,
yeah.
with
Y'all been growing
houses
up,
and
yeah.
kids and stuff. So and I'll say another thing. Once you get a family and you get kids and you get stuff, that takes away a lot of that nonsense anyway.
Definitely, definitely.
When you young, you 21 and you in the streets with your guys, and y'all in the studio, y'all doing what y'all doing. There's so many opportunities to get caught up in some nonsense. But once you settle down, and you get a wife and kids, and you doing it the right way, you
Yeah.
you you more about your family anyway.
No, for sure.
You
Yeah,
don't
cause
have that
when
much time to be doing foolishness
yeah,
anyway.
'cause when you working, your passion, your
Yeah.
family, you ain't got too much time for anything else.
Right. Now, thank God for football season coming back. It's
Yeah,
kind of like, okay, catch up with the fellas, watch this game,
exactly.
cook
Yep.
out on the grill, enjoy each other's time. You may
Yep.
have little pockets like that, or events. I
Yep.
just went to a wedding. I was actually in a wedding this past weekend. So, that was great to connect with some fellas, and fellowship and stuff like
Mm,
that. But you'll have moments, but it's
yeah.
not like how it used to be, when it's like every weekend, every
Yeah.
this, every that, we outside.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
and that's when you be knowing like it clicked in my head like, man, I'm really that person I was looking at as far as like my dad. Like I'm really older. Like you just and like yesterday I was having the time of my life just in my basement by myself watching football.
Hey,
You
hey,
know what I'm saying?
man. The older you get, the more that peace of mind is priceless.
Man, you be
you know?
appreciating that time by yourself. 'Cause when you young,
Yeah,
you by yourself, you like, oh, I gotta get out. I gotta get with the homies. I gotta, get with a young lady or something. But then
yeah,
when you just, what I'm saying, you get older, you like, you know what? I just want to be at the crib by myself.
facts.
Yeah,
That's a
man.
fact.
Yeah, and I had asked that question because I had noticed as I got older, some friends are only your friends because of a certain thing. Like for example, I know a lot of people I was cool with. We just had the club in common. Once I stopped going to the
Mhm.
club, I noticed that we wasn't hanging out as much.
Right.
So that's why I asked that question about like when you turned your life around. Did you know it's like some relationships or some friendships was only due to the stuff that you had to leave behind?
And I say this too. Um, for me personally, where I was in my lifetime, a lot of people that was around, I wasn't around no more anyway, because we grew up. You know
Mm,
what I'm saying? Like I said, I didn't have that much time. Like when I was in 2008, 2007, 2009, we in the music heavy.
mm,
I had all this time to
yeah,
be at these clubs, to be at these spots and be doing all this stuff. But once you start getting a family and you settle down, like most people, when they settle down, they ain't outside like that too
yeah,
much.
yeah, yeah,
Like, yeah, I
yeah,
got the wife, man. Yeah, I got a kid. I
yeah,
got to do this, do that. Some people are, but they most likely, a lot of them still up to no good, right? But if you
yeah,
if you really ain't doing nothing crazy out here, stepping on your wife and doing got all this stuff going, you usually in the house with your family.
definitely.
You
Yep, yep,
stop out
yep.
on occasions and stuff like that. So I would say career wise and everything, the way things was moving, a lot of people that I was around all the time when I was younger, I wasn't around them anyway. I
Yeah,
was more around my coworkers.
yeah,
And we all had something to lose. So, we wasn't really doing too much. And then, in 2020, with my transition to being in Christ, I
mm,
already wasn't around certain individuals anyway, no more.
yeah,
So it was kind of like it was a smooth transition for me.
for sure, for sure. Yeah, because now when you go out with the homies or something, that's a holiday now. Like hey man,
Yeah.
I see you. A couple times a year we get together, have a couple of jokes and stuff like that. Now I'm back to real life.
Yeah, and then I've noticed, like, with most people, depending on what type of job and industry you in or how much you work, most of your homies end up being your coworkers. You know what I'm
Definitely.
saying? You
Yep.
you start you start hanging out with your coworkers, and because y'all all got something in common, y'all all work at the same job, so y'all
Yep.
y'all seen each other at the
Yeah.
workplace. So it's like, man, I see you at work. I don't need to see you outside of work all the time. Like we may link up, like the game on or the
Yeah.
playoffs, or come to my house, watch the game or the fight. I'm a
Yeah.
huge boxing fan.
Hold on.
Hopefully,
Who winning this
yeah.
week, man? Who gonna
Bud,
win this week?
Bud gonna do it. Bud Crawford.
Man. Hey, so let me ask you this, because I
Yeah.
just was talking to my a coworker about this yesterday. If he win, do he retire? Because who else is it to beat after that?
So he was asked this question. He answered it. He was like, "Nah, why I'm gonna retire?" He said, I need to go back to 154 and see the Charlo, see
Yeah.
Jamel Charlo at
Yeah.
that.
Because
So I was
it's
like,
like,
yeah,
yeah. Because is it worth it? Like after you beat somebody like that powerful? Because he jumping to what, 3 weight classes?
yeah, yeah,
So, like I said, I'm hoping Canelo a bad boy. You know what I'm saying? Canelo ain't no
yeah.
walk in the park. But if anybody could beat him, I think he could beat him though, man.
Yeah, I think he did it the right way.
Yeah,
Because I'm a huge boxing fan, so I study the sport. I study, what I'm saying, I pay attention to really what's going on. I'm not a casual boxing fan. I really be digging in,
yeah,
and I'm seeing the way Bud was gaining weight. He doing it the right way. He's not
yeah,
like a huge switch, and I'm just gonna blow up. Like
yeah,
if you notice, he ain't fighting over a year, so he's been preparing for Canelo for over a year and gaining right weight the right way. And
mhm,
because Jamal Charlo said that his brother Jamel fought Canelo. He said one of the things and mistakes that he mentioned, he said, "Man, I blew up too big." He said I should have
yeah,
stayed at a more comfortable weight so that I still had my endurance.
yeah,
So
yeah,
he
yeah,
was like, blowing up, just thinking just need to get big. I didn't really feel like, he said he didn't feel like himself in the ring. Like, and
yeah.
when you feeling like, I don't have that extra gear. When you
Mhm.
facing a Canelo Alvarez, you dead in the water for
Like
real.
it's
You
like,
need
man,
to be
but
at your best.
I'm a Bud fan, but it's like I'm gonna really see what it's about when if how he take those punches.
Yeah,
If he can take those punches, it's over. I think Bud will win in decision. I don't think it's gonna be a knockout. I think he'll win in a decision or whatever. But
yeah.
yeah, man, I'm a little nervous, man. I ain't gonna lie to you.
But to be honest with you, that's what makes for an exciting fight because
Yeah,
there's so many things that could go left. Like, can Bud take his punch?
yeah,
You know, or can he take the power? Is Canelo just gonna walk through Bud's power? And
yeah.
how did he bring his power up to this weight class? Is he
Exactly.
going to get tired quick? There's
Yeah,
so many things and variables that can happen in this fight, which makes it exciting to see how Bud prepared for this, and we'll see come September 13th.
yeah, man. And then could you think about Roy Jones? They said
Yeah,
that was mess him up by jumping weight class, but he was going up, down, up, down. You know,
yeah,
a lot. Man, I gotta ask you this too, man. How disappointed are you that Mike Tyson is fighting Floyd in this exhibition fight, man?
man. I don't want to see it, man. I'm gonna watch it.
I'm about to say you don't want to see it, but you go watch it.
Yeah, I'm disappointed because honestly, I feel like Tyson threw the last fight.
Yeah, yep, yep. I do too.
Jake Paul fight,
Yeah,
because you saw him kept clutching, biting his gloves, and he would throw something, but he would pull it back, and
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I'm like, think about all the people who put money on Mike Tyson to seems like he gonna smash Jake Paul,
yeah,
but you threw the fight.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So
yep,
all these people they lost
yep,
not because the other dude was better than you, it's
yeah,
because y'all already planned to throw the fight. So something like that, like
yeah.
I'm not too
Cause I don't want
excited to watch.
boxing. I don't want boxing to become a joke, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it to
Exactly.
become a joke, and it's just a money grab. Cause everybody like the whole Tank thing. Like, well, he'll never see 200 million. Yeah, maybe. But my thing is now you making it so anybody could come into the sport and just fight. You can have a name on YouTube and fight for a bag, and it's taken away from the sport.
Yeah. I will say this though. I'm not a huge fan of Jake Paul, but I respect his business sense
No,
and
for
how
sure.
he's built what he's built to be
Oh,
able to, because
yeah,
he'll have real fights on the card. You know what I'm
yep,
saying? He'll do his thing. And he was strategically, fighting MMA cats who
yeah,
not the best boxers.
yeah,
So I respect what he's doing. I just don't want to see fake fights. If
yeah,
even
yeah,
if
yeah,
you got an
yeah,
advantage, you got an advantage, but I don't want to see nobody throwing the fight. That was kind of a turnoff for me. But
for sure.
I don't think Mayweather ain't gonna throw nothing. So
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, and he's really the cash cow. Mayweather's still the cash cow. So
Yeah, yeah.
and
And
you
like I
know,
said, my son, it's funny. Um, my son is the one who been putting me up on like Abdullah Mason. Like my son been
yeah,
he heavy into it, man. Like he really heavy into it. He be putting me hip to these boxers. Abdullah
yeah,
Mason is nice. He only like what 19, 20?
yeah. He nice. He real
Yeah,
nice.
he real
Yeah,
nice. Who? Because I wasn't expecting to take this turn, man. I love sports, man. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
who is the one boxer you are disappointed in? Who should have had a better career than what he had?
Oh, man, disappointed.
I got one on my
To
mind
be
right
honest,
now.
to be honest with you, and it's not really a big disappointment because he still had a great career.
Mm.
But I always was a Keith Thurman fan.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So and I like how I personally feel like he took a lot of heat.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Or people thought it was one thing because
Yeah,
some people didn't like him or whatever. But when you went to straight facts, 'cause I'm big on facts. Like we can
yeah,
all have our personal opinions and our feelings and emotions, but what do the
mm,
facts say? Let's see if the facts line up with my feelings.
yeah,
When I look at the facts, I'm like, well, because everybody was like, oh, you duck Errol Spence.
yeah,
I'm like, when did he duck him? Let's go to Box Rec, pull
mhm,
up his resume.
mm,
Mind you, Keith Thurman was the first person to beat Danny Garcia.
yep,
He was the I believe the second person to beat Sean Porter.
yep.
He was hot. He was two-time world champion. Boom,
Yeah,
boom,
no, he was
boom.
that man. He was the man.
He was that guy.
Yeah,
And then he kept getting injured. You see, injuries is a big thing. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And he kept getting injured. He had the injury bug on him for a little bit. And then
mm,
the Errol Spence thing was coming up, and then Manny Pacquiao stepped in. I mean, like, excuse me, Mr. Spence, but I got to get this Pac-Man fight.
yep.
That's a life-changing bag right there,
No, for
right?
sure. Yeah,
And then after that, he got hurt again. But after that, Spence went on his own thing, and unfortunately, in the car accident and stuff
yeah,
like
yep,
that.
yep,
But
yep.
that's one of the fighters that I think he get a bad rep. But I don't know if he about to fight that
Yeah,
twin power right now.
yeah. He
So
fighting what November?
Yeah, Fandora, man. And
Yeah,
I'm a little
yeah,
nervous for him because that Bama like 6'6",
yeah.
man.
Because
He
at first
like 5'7".
I thought he was supposed to fight Earl Spence at first, but I don't know what happened with that. The tall
And I
dude.
thank God he didn't because Earl Spence just need to hang it up.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? I like
'Cause
Spence.
he ain't fought in a minute either since the whole Terrence Crawford thing,
Yeah.
man.
And
So
then it was
yeah,
just like, I don't think nobody saw that fight playing out that way. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I had Bud winning the fight
yeah, but not in
from
that fashion.
nah.
No, he
I
beat the
was
crap
like,
out.
I thought it was gonna be competitive, and Bud was, going, the 10th, 11th, 12th round, Bud was gonna pull some out the hat, but
Yeah,
he
no, he
just beat the
dominated.
brakes off of him.
Yeah, he dominated, man. He dominated.
Yeah.
Um, for my answer, I want to go towards the end. My answer was Adrian Broner.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great one too. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like I felt like, but I felt like he might have came to the game just to gain some money or some fame or something like that. I don't think his head was really into the sport. You
Nah.
know, everybody was comparing him to Floyd, and he coming with the antics, getting the hairbrush and talking crazy to cats girls and stuff like that. I don't really think his mom was into it all the way,
Yeah.
and I feel like he wanted to live a rapper lifestyle, and he blowing money, and I think he's supposed to make a comeback fight next month, but it's like, I don't know, I'm
Yeah.
good.
I always be rooting for AB too. You know what I'm
I was
saying? But
too. I
he
was
always
too.
let me down, yeah.
Yeah, man. They got his teeth knocked out the last fight, like, bro.
Yeah, his biggest thing is discipline. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he ain't got that,
And
man. It's too old. He almost too old to even have it now.
yeah.
Like,
And his biggest mistake is when he jumped 2 weight classes to 147. When he
yeah,
was at 135, he
he
was that
dominated.
dude. Yeah. And Floyd told him, go to 140 next. He was like, nah, I'm gonna go to 147. Like, all right, it's weight, even though it's close, 140, 147 is weight class for a reason. Cause most of these people, this ain't they walk around weight. They gotta cut
Mhm.
extremely to get there, but
Yeah,
then they blow up afterwards.
and see, and that's why Floyd
Yeah.
was so good because he was fighting that the way he was walking around it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. So yeah,
And
man.
then he got Broner done dirty at that fight too because Maidana gloves was a little fishy. Because
Yeah,
if
man.
you notice when Floyd fought Maidana afterwards, when they was doing the glove thing,
Mm,
Floyd put on Maidana's glove and was like, "Ain't no padding in here. You ain't
yeah.
fighting me with these. These the same gloves you fought Broner with. Nah,
So,
we ain't doing that."
like, yeah, you fooling. Yeah,
Yeah, so he's probably crunching Broner like mainly knuckle.
yeah,
Is
yeah, 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 yeah.
had
He
him
was not.
doing the stanky
And he was
leg.
throwing
Yeah,
them. He throwing them wild punches and stuff, connecting. Man. Now,
yeah,
your Rapture Ready, is that your latest single that you put out?
yeah. Rapture Ready is the latest single, and
Mm.
it's also the same name of the album that I've been working on. I
I was just
kind of
gonna ask about that.
yeah, Rapture Ready. So we shot a music video for it, and everything is doing well
Mm.
on Vivo put it out, and all different platforms put it out. Apple Music, all the different video platforms put it out. So it's doing pretty good. It's on YouTube. Antoine Stewart, Rapture Ready. Check it out.
Sure. And when can we expect that album to come out?
Man, I would say this. I'm just gonna say this year because I was shooting for September,
Mm-hmm.
but I got so much stuff going on with the baby doing October, and
Yeah.
it's just so much personal things going on that it's like more than likely it's going to get pushed back. So, but my goal is um for 20, if not 2025, because we getting on the back end of 2025, the beginning of 2026 or to come
Yeah.
out. It's really close. I would say we could be able to do it, December of 2025, but if not, like January or something like that of 2026.
Okay. Now, and you said something on Rapture Ready. You said it's still kingdom over culture. I'm not concerned with the vultures.
Yeah.
Talk about that bar, man.
Yeah. Basically that's just saying, like, how you were saying how your man um he basically, like, you asked him would he do a song with a secular artist, he like, nah, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, kingdom over culture is, as the Bible said, man, in the last days, people
Mm.
gonna call good bad and bad good. A
Yeah.
lot of people, especially us, because we had so much trauma,
Yeah.
growing up black in America, growing up, racism and all these different things. But I know if you grew up in the hood, you more afraid of people who look like you than a white person. You know what I'm
No, for
saying?
sure.
That's the real the person you just knocking you over the head or robbing you at gunpoint ain't the white man if you growing
Yeah.
up in the trenches.
Yeah,
It's the people who look like you.
it's a little real.
Right, right. Like little peanut coming around the corner with a chopper, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's one of those things to where for me it's God first, kingdom first.
Mhm.
I'm a Christian. I'm a man of God before I'm a black man. So I'ma always put the kingdom first because a lot
Mhm.
of time people they walk that line with culture and then everything needs to be based on what's the black thing to do or you know what I'm saying. If you take a stand and go against that, oh, let's cancel him because
Yeah.
he said this or he said that or lately I think Snoop Dogg and some people was like they shouldn't have gay people in
Oh, in
kids movies
movies.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And then, a lot of people gonna get offended by that. But what about them? Can't we be offended by y'all doing that?
Yeah.
We should have a say so on what our kids watch.
But you know that's a sticky situation. Cause you talk about that, it's like it don't even matter if you make sense. You just can't talk about it. You can't go against it. You can't speak on it. He just talking about taking his grandkid to the movies and don't want to see it, or don't
Right.
have to explain what he's seeing to his grandkid.
Right. And I would say this as a kingdom, especially as a kingdom artist or a preacher or a teacher or minister or prophet or whatever,
Mhm.
mantle you carry, you're going to have to be in these positions to where you stand 10 toes down on the word of God, regardless of the consequences. Because I'm not worried about man. I'm more worried about my father in heaven. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, I don't care what nothing nobody else on this earth can do to me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But and that's how you got to stand 10. You can't be it's a sin to be a coward. Like
Yeah.
a lot of it say that in the Bible. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's a sin to be a coward. The same way you a gangster, you a thug for the wrong reasons, dying over blocks and neighborhoods and colors that don't have nothing to do. You don't have no ownership in that. Don't mean nothing when it's all said and done. Are
Mhm.
you gonna put it all on the line for Christ? Are you gonna put it all on the line for God? Are you gonna
Yeah.
be a gangster for Christ? You know what I'm saying? And really stand on his word and what he's saying. Cause it's not for the weak at heart, because there'll be situations to where like, man, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
or you feel that pressure, oh, they gonna cancel me. It is what it I'm gonna say what the God put on my heart to say and not worry about whatever happened after that.
For sure, for sure. We getting towards the end, man. But I want to ask you. I know you said you had stopped rapping. You had a 15-year gap.
Yeah.
How often, if any, do you go back and listen to your old music?
I really don't listen to it. To be
Never.
honest, I don't even know where most of that stuff is at because
Okay.
technology didn't change so much.
Yeah, MySpace
We-
page.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like you had a Black Planet, your MySpace page,
MySpace. Yeah.
and we didn't have access to the platforms that they do now to where
Mm-hmm.
anybody can just upload their stuff and it's on iTunes, it's on Apple Music, it's on Spotify, it's on
Yep. YouTube.
Pandora, it's on
Yeah.
every platform you could think of now. Most distribution platforms is on 100 plus platforms, and you're not listening to that stuff.
Yeah.
Back then it was like you print it out, you had it on a CD, you pass it out at the shows or the different
Yep.
events and stuff like that, and that's what it was. We
Yeah.
didn't have all this access that they do now. So
No, you had to get
I
out there and
mean,
work.
yeah, you got to put that work in, and I think, and no shame to I think like Soldier Boy was one of the first people who showed you like how he created his own buzz online
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I think he was one of the first to really do that,
No, he
and
definitely.
yeah, so
Definitely.
no shade to nothing like that, but back then, you had to do it the hard way to where you had to be at these places, you had to really
Yep.
be in the streets, be seen, and
Yep.
create that buzz more
Yeah.
organically than
Like I said, you
sitting
could
behind a computer.
you could pop out right now from the crib and never leave the block, never leave your porch,
Yeah, that's a fact.
and blow
And
up.
then
And you rapping about how you on the block, but you in the house.
that's a fact. That's why I was saying, we grew up in an era to where if you wasn't who you said you was, eventually you would be
It's gonna come
exposed.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. That's funny, man. And it's funny you talking about passing out CDs. I don't know why it just made me think about the time I passed out a CD and somebody called me and told me it was trash. Yeah, I'm like,
Dang,
yep.
you had your number on it.
I had my number and my email address.
Oh yeah.
They let me a voicemail. I woke up to like, dang, I guess I'm a trash rapper.
But what's
Man,
crazy is like, you everybody got an opinion, right? You'll have somebody who, man, this joint trash, but hey man, he didn't just sold 100, 200,000 records, so I guess somebody like it. You know
Somebody
what I'm
like it.
saying?
No, for
Yeah.
sure.
So it's one of those things where everybody got a different opinion.
I want to end it on the song you got called Faith Walk. You had said something. You said I was stuck in a mental prison. Now I'm moving with precision. Talk
Yeah.
about that bar, man. Stuck in a mental prison. Like talk about that.
Yeah. I mean, the mental prison is being stuck in with your flesh,
Hmm.
you know, because there's an invisible war going on, whether people know it or not, to where your spirit and your flesh, as the Bible says, constantly at war. They're constantly doing this.
Hmm.
Right? Your flesh wants you to go hit that girl line and slide through on a late night, or your
Yeah,
flesh wants you to, you know, slide on your op or whatever. He disrespect you, go ahead and get. You know what I'm saying? Your flesh
yeah,
wants you to do all of these things, or you at the job and you didn't went off on your boss and now you lost your job. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Not being able to compartmentalize those emotions and bring it in like, oh, I got something to lose. Because a
Hmm.
lot of people, they operate and move like they don't have nothing to lose. So just being in that war, that mental prison, to where, you know, having peace and finding peace in the gospel, finding peace in his presence. Because I would say this, the biggest thing that you'll see different if you talk to, and I have family members, and I know people that are practice Islam or Muslims and stuff like that, is I would say for Christians it's about relationship.
Okay.
You know, having an encounter. Like a lot of people, they say they Christians, but they don't feel the Holy Spirit. They don't feel it's different. I
Hmm.
can't, it's hard to explain, but it's a different feeling when you really surrender and you really save. Like you'll feel his presence, you'll feel the Holy Spirit, you'll start to hear the Holy Spirit and quiet down the other voices. Because
Yeah.
you always got three voices talking. You
No, for
got your
sure.
voice, you got the enemy's voice, and then you got God's voice.
Yeah.
But whoever you feeding, that's gonna be the loudest. So if you feeding your flesh, you're gonna hear that flesh way louder than you hear what God is trying to say. You know
Definitely.
what I'm
Definitely.
saying? But when you start feeding your spirit more, your spirit man, as they say, you start hearing that Holy Spirit a little bit louder.
Yeah.
Because I give you a little nugget, because a lot of times when the enemy is talking to you, he's going to sound like you,
No.
because you're comfortable with you. You know what I'm saying? So when you hear that voice and it sounds like you're talking to yourself,
Mm.
but that was the enemy, that was a demon speaking to you in your voice. So when you heard it, it would feel comfortable, and you'd be like, yeah, man, I'm about to slide through, man, I'm
Yeah.
tripping. You know what I'm saying?
No. That's a
I'm about
fact.
to, I'm
That's a
about to hit
fact,
her
man.
up now. And you like, because
Yeah.
it sound like you, but because if a demon sound like him, you like, whoa, you gonna be in the closet somewhere trip, like, man, I'm geeking, dog. Like, what's going
Yeah.
on? But he's going
No.
to sound familiar enough to where you comfortable to let your guards down. And next thing you know, you done made a wrong decision or
You
wrong
know,
choice.
that's some real stuff, man. Because you know, a lot of people don't like to be alone because of all those voices of you having that mental battle within yourself about doing the right thing and the wrong thing and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
what you
And
said
then
that was some real stuff right there for real. Because you know you do hear those voices saying go left when you know you should be going right.
yeah, and you know that wasn't God telling you to go left.
Yeah,
So you got two things. Is either you, what you really want to do, or you got the enemy spreading that. And when you come into agreement with it, you plant that seed. And you
yeah,
come into agreement with what he's saying. And next thing you know, you got a stronghold. And next
yeah,
thing you know, like, I can't shake it. Like you
yeah.
know, people that struggle with addiction,
Yep,
whether that's lust, a sex addiction, porn, with drugs, whatever, alcohol, whatever they struggle with, they constantly feeding it, and that thing got them captured.
yep,
You
yep,
know, and that's that mental prison, to where it's like, I shouldn't be doing this, but then you do it, and you start feeling bad afterwards, which
yeah,
is a good thing.
yeah,
if
yeah,
you
yeah.
if you
Man,
do wrong and you feel bad afterwards, that's showing that your conscience is still present, the God is still
yeah,
working on you. But
yep,
them
yep,
them
yep.
cold-blooded people who do wrong and they don't feel nothing, that's a
Yeah.
scary place to be in.
No, for sure. That's a fact. That's a fact, man. It's funny you said it because, like, yeah, that's you do. Like I said, it's funny you said that because when you do hear that voice, it is your voice.
Yeah, yeah, and
It's
that's
your
how the
voice for
enemy
sure.
work, man. He's
Like,
good at
man, you know you're in a
what he
relationship,
does.
but you know you go ahead and mess with that girl real quick. It's all good. She ain't gonna find out.
Facts. It's just one time. Like, come
Yeah.
on, bro.
No, for sure. No, for sure, man. For sure. Hey, man, it was a pleasure talking to you, bro. It was,
Likewise. I hope y'all
man.
had me back on here, man. I had a
Yeah,
great
man. Cause
time.
we still gotta get to the podcast, everything else. We got some other stuff to do, man. So when when you drop that album, man, you gotta come back around and we can have chop it up again.
Most
What
definitely, bro. I'm down.
where can they where can they find you on social media and all that stuff, man?
I would say this: go to my website, AntoineStewartMusic.com. That's the easiest thing because it got everything connected to it. It got the Instagram, the TikTok, the Facebook, all the streaming platforms. Go to AntoineStewartMusic.com.
Okay, for sure. And that's how we do it. Hey, people, for everybody watching, I won't be in the car. I look somewhat professional and stuff.
Hey
But
man, but I like that. I like the real because everybody got this. Oh, I'm in the studio. I'm this, that, and the third. But
yeah,
sometimes you just on the block or you just in the elements, and you had the dopest conversations like that.
y'all know, man. Shout out to everybody. Antoine Stewart in the building, man. Episode 236. We got Q behind the boards. You know what I'm saying? Until next time. Peace out.